Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building. So original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Making it a positive one for you guys and all that. We got some updates. We got some information here for you guys that we need to get into. And this is still an ongoing investigation right now as we speak. But I wanted to give you guys some new updates about everything that's been going on. I know that everyone's been wondering. A lot of us have a lot of questions about all this stuff. There's some new information that's actually really, really shocking, and just so messed up and heartbreaking as well. There are interviews from the parents of Brittany Brewer, mainly, that are actually. It's going to be very hard to watch. I'll just be honest. It's going to be very, very hard to watch. But nonetheless, we need to talk about this for sure. And I wanted to give you guys some updates around this particular case, this particular story. Again, very, very devastating stuff. Let's be completely real. And you see the title above or down below, wherever you're watching this show. This is real. And of course, if you're seeing the thumbnail, or if you saw the thumbnail beforehand, yeah, some really, really shocking stuff here that leads us down the route of speculating some information that I think we were hoping it wouldn't be the truth, but it looks like it's going to be looking like it is. And I'll explain a little bit more here in a second. It's devastating. So anyway, guys, do me a favor before we get into everything. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your name. That would really, really mean a lot. Send it past 300 likes as you start to file in. That would really mean a lot as well. And don't forget to crush that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell and set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. Okay, it can be random. And of course, if you want to support the channel and appreciate the stuff I've been putting out, please be sure to hit that join button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. Become a member of the family, and that'd be greatly appreciated, okay? Anyway, let's get into this, guys. We got a lot to talk about, and there's not a whole lot. I don't have a whole lot of time today. Today's a very busy one. Also, I do want to make an announcement really, really quick before we get into everything else. And it's a little bit of a sidebar. It's really like a left turn. There will not be a Real Beef with S&P live show tonight. I'm just repeating that one more time. There will not be a Real Beef with S&P live show tonight. Just so you guys know, okay? For those of y'all who are over there who have subscribed and all that, this week we are going to be dark. There will be videos. We are going to be putting out a video later on this evening about a topic, which you'll find out when it uploads. So be sure to tune in on that. But there will not be a live show with me and my sister tonight. We will be back up and running next Tuesday, okay? Just so you guys know, okay? So let us get in here, okay? Let us get in here, okay? Because we gotta. This is all bad news, guys. Not so great stuff, okay? Now, we talked about this yesterday evening because it broke yesterday evening, where there were 7 bodies that were found in Oklahoma, after they were looking for 2 teens, okay, by the names of Ivy Webster, and Brittany Brewer. Now, something interesting that I just found out while I was, doing my research, getting things moving, getting the information that we need for this show, I found out that Brittany actually is not 16 years old. She just turned 15 years old, everybody. So all the information that's been out here saying that she's 16 years old is not correct. She is actually she's actually 15 years old, not 16. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Now, their bodies were identified. So police stopped looking for these two young girls, these two teenage girls. So those two were found alongside this monster right here. His name is Jesse McFadden. He is a registered SO. I got to use these code words. They were found, all three of them, including this individual in the middle, were found out in his family's backyard, along with 4 other bodies. Now, McFadden is married. He is married to, of course, he has a wife. He has there are 2 stepsons and a stepdaughter. Now, from what we understand, Brittany and Ivy were invited to spend the weekend with Jesse McFadden's stepdaughter. They went missing. They did not come home Sunday evening, so people were very concerned. An Amber Alert was issued on Monday, and of course, it was a very quick turnaround. That Amber Alert was extinguished after they found 7 bodies on the McFadden property out in a wooded area. Okay? So now, obviously very, very devastating, sad information, sad news and all that. And we've all been wondering what's going on here. Who are the other 4? Because if you do the math, he was married, he had a wife and 3 children, or 3 stepchildren. Now, if you do the math, that would be his wife and the 3 kids. That would make 4. So there's a lot of people that are speculating. There's a lot of theories out here, even articles that are out here that are kind of ridiculous in my personal opinion, because to be completely honest, they haven't confirmed anything yet. But I'm going to show you this article here real quick. The title of this article, which is ridiculous. I read this and I was like, oh, they identified? Did they identify the bodies? But you see it, bodies of 2 missing teen girls which they did identify immediately. They said, no worry, take down, terminate that Amber Alert. We have found the 2 teens that were missing earlier today, that were said that they said was missing. The Amber Alert, go ahead and terminate that. We have found these 2. So those 2 have been identified, quickly identified. Okay. But even in this title here, bodies of 2 missing teen girls aged 14 and 16, which is wrong. Brittany is 15. She just turned 15 again, are alongside their monster, okay, who allegedly did this to himself as well. And this is wrong because they say after also taking the life of his daughter, his wife, and 2 sons. I just need to point this out. This is completely wrong. This is absolutely wrong. He had a wife, but he was a stepfather to 2 boys and a girl. Stepfather. These are not his biological children, from what I understand. This is not right. Also, the fact that in this article, they're saying, oh, yeah, the other 4 have been identified. Now, what's interesting about this article here, let me just show it to you. Unless they updated it within the last 15 minutes, I just want you to see this, okay? So, bodies of 7 people have been uncovered in Oklahoma as officials were searching for 2 teenage girls who went missing over the weekend. Ivy Webster, 14, Brittany Brewster. It's Brewer, but okay. Brittany Brewster, as they say, 16, still wrong, were both found unalive inside a home in Henrietta, Oklahoma on Monday, alongside the body of Jesse McFadden. Now, this is the part that's interesting. You see the title, right? They say in the title, oh, yeah, confirmed, so on and so forth, right? You're putting that information out here, but in the next line blows my mind. The 4 other bodies have not been positively identified by the Okmulgee County Sheriff, according to News on 6. So then why would you put that in the article as the title in the top? I'm sorry. I'm just saying. They got the names wrong, and I understand the age being wrong. Everybody and their mama is now getting corrected like a mug right now. They're correcting everything. Brittany is 15 years old. She just turned 15. And it's Brewer, not Brewster. But you put this in the title saying something, but then later on in the article, it hasn't been identified. The rest have not been identified yet, but we just going to assume. And I get it that we're going to assume, but you don't have actual facts yet. No one's come up. Medical examiner has not come out and identified the 4 other bodies. I'm just saying. I can sit here and say that and out loud and go, my speculation is. I'm assuming it is, but they don't have the hard facts yet. So why put that information out there? I'm just saying that out loud. That just kind of frustrates me. Okay. That really, really frustrates me. Now, we do have a bunch of videos that we are going to be looking at here very, very shortly, but I do want to, give you guys some more articles, some more information, so on and so forth. Okay. And please do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Okay. Send it past 300 likes. All right. A like doesn't cost a thing. And, I'm trying to give you guys some updates and some information on this particular case because let's be real, this is absolutely shocking and wild. And there's more information here that I'm going to be sharing with you guys within the next 5-10 minutes that is absolutely mind-blowing. Okay. And it shows proof positive of this assumption right here. Okay. So we are going to get into that in just a minute. We got interviews from the parents, so on and so forth. So we got a lot to break down. So don't forget to hit that like button, okay? Of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated, and it'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, let's get into this article, okay? So convicted are, okay, Jesse McFadden had been scheduled to appear in court, which we already know from yesterday's show, on the same day that 7 bodies, including that of him, and 2 missing teenage girls were found in a rural property in Oklahoma. McFadden, who has a prior R conviction, was due to stand trial on charges of soliciting unthinkable conduct from a minor and possession of unthinkable content on Monday. Now, what's interesting about this, just a little side note, there have been interviews there have been statements made by the victim, in which he was trying to solicit this type of disgusting content. We are going to be hearing those statements here in a second. And there is more information that shows that this man was not in the right mindset, if you get what I'm saying, the night before any of this tragedy went down. So let's get into this. And we'll be playing that video here very shortly. All right. So instead, authorities found the bodies of 7 people at his house in Oklahoma. While the bodies have yet to be officially identified, okay, the county sheriff, Eddie Rice, said the bodies were believed to include those of McFadden, 14-year-old Ivy Webster, and 15, I'm just going to keep correcting it, 15-year-old Brittany Brewer, not Brewster, okay? Ivy and Brittany were named in an Amber Alert on Monday morning after disappearing with his company. Now, the 2 girls were supposed to go swimming at a creek with McFadden's teenage daughter. The other 4 victims have not been identified by law enforcement, and it is unclear how the 7 individuals passed. All right. So just a little bit of a recap for those of y'all who are still brand new to this story. Let me give you a little bit of information about this very, very disturbing individual. Okay. And I've heard two different things, but maybe they have a more updated, maybe this might be a more updated, more precise breakdown of who Jesse McFadden is. Okay. Who is this monster? And let me show you one more time this monster's face. One more again, so that you can see he's the man in the middle right there. All right. Who is this individual? Well, McFadden is a convicted R, so he's already been convicted, okay, of doing something very, very bad. He is a registered SO. He is a registered S offender. He is a known PDF file. If you get what I'm saying here. So he was convicted. He is a convicted R who is scheduled to appear in court on new charges on the day the bodies were found. According to Oklahoma prison records, McFadden was sent to prison in 2003 for first-degree R and served nearly 16 years before he was released in 2020. So on Monday, he was due to stand trial on charges of soliciting conduct of soliciting unthinkable conduct from a minor and possession of CP. The charges were filed back in 2017 when he was still in prison for his R conviction. So he was trying to get conduct from a minor whilst still being locked up, y'all. Okay? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right? That is insane. All right. Moving on. The charges were filed. We already know this. Okay. While behind bars, he allegedly exchanged spicy photos and videos with a minor behind bars. When he failed to appear in court on Monday, police began searching for him. This is his mugshot. He was locked up for 16 years, y'all. Locked up for 16 years for R. And while he was still locked up, he had some sort of burner phone or something. He was still trying to holler. And what's even more disturbing, he was trying to say, "What up, doe?" to minors. Again, let me say this again. He was trying to solicit some stuff from a minor. He had possession of very disgusting stuff. You get what I'm saying? Charges were filed back in 2017. While behind bars, he allegedly exchanged photos and videos of a girl from behind bars. So he was sending those things out to other people whilst he was still locked up for doing terrible acts of SV. Or S violence. So that's why he was supposed to show up. Okay. That's why he was supposed to show up in court on Monday, because of the disgusting things that he has done. And from what we are understanding so far, he wasn't having it. He was doing that whole, "I ain't going back. They're gonna have to take me in a box" type of ish. Don't worry, we got it for you. I got some video for y'all. We're gonna take a listen to this because we got some things to talk about, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this. This is an important video to listen to. This is crazy. Okay. Let's scroll up a little bit though. Let's get into it.
Court today on another case, and all of that may have led to the killings today.
It seems like that's possible at this point, Shay. I mean, I've been out here all day, and it's still really hard to wrap my mind around what happened here. And I've been in contact with one of his previous victims, a woman who's a victim in this child porn case, and some of the evidence that she's shown me leads me to believe that you might be right. It's hard to understand how or why someone could do something like this, but I feel like these text messages that she shared with me give us a little bit of insight. 7 bodies found on the property of a convicted rapist. The discovery ended the search for 2 teen girls, Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer, who were staying the night at Jesse McFadden's house, where he lived with his wife and 3 kids. McFadden was convicted of rape in 2003, a past that Ivy's parents were shocked to hear about. They spoke to us while the search for their daughter was still active.
He's a pedophile, and people need to know. They need to find him, lock him up.
Yeah, because he shouldn't have been out to be able to do all this.
He should not have been out. And it's our justice system that needs to be harder.
Court records show.
Let me just say this really quick, and of course I got to hop in with my 2 cents and commentary for fair use and all that crap. But somebody just asked this, and it is a damn good question. I'm going to ask it too. Okay. Where did it go? Emily Baldwin just said, when did law enforcement know what he was doing behind bars or doing in prison? Was it before or after his release? That's a very good question. I don't know when they caught him, but they caught him nonetheless. But it could have been after the fact. I don't know. And it doesn't make sense, because here's the thing. Grace Sky Photo just said, if he was convicted of that stuff while behind bars, how did his sentence not get extended? Make it make sense. That's exactly what I'd like to know too, Grace. Why, if he was convicted, if he had done something like this, why wouldn't they say, okay, you are still violating, you are still up to no good, you are still doing the exact same thing you are convicted of here, you're doing time for, but you're doing it behind bars, and we caught you red-handed. You ain't getting out here for another 20 years, another 16 years, however long he stayed behind bars. That doesn't make sense to me either. Again, make it make sense. I don't understand why he was let out. And also on top of that, I still don't understand how he found a wife, how you found a family, or anything of that sort. Okay? That is, I'm sorry, shocking information as well. That there's somebody out there willing to put their own children in harm's way with a violent offender. Doesn't make sense to me. But let's continue.
Joe McFadden was accused of sexting an underage girl while behind bars for rape in 2017. He was charged for soliciting child porn, and because of the incident, he was set to stand trial the same day that the bodies were found. I've been in contact with the victim in that child porn case.
Here we go.
She sent me these messages that she says McFadden sent to her Sunday night.
Okay, now we got to look at this, okay? This is the text messages that he sent the night before. So Sunday night, before these bodies were found, these were the text messages that he sent to the person that he's supposed to be going to trial for on Monday. The reason why he's supposed to show up and appear in court on Monday, that victim received text messages from this very monster. One of them started with a selfie photo. How convenient is that? Yeah, Debbie, this is insane. Okay? This is absolutely insane. So, let's take a look at this. He says, I did exactly what I promised and I would do when I did exactly what I promised I would do when I got out and I got a marketing job, making great money, and was being advanced, been there 2 years now, and I made a great life like I promised I would do with you. Now it's all gone. I told you I wouldn't go back. This is all on you for continuing this. Soak it in, guys. But this is actually the text messages that he sent to the victim. The victim in which he was soliciting stuff from. Allegedly, there was photos and videos of this victim as well that he was sharing, maybe to other inmates or putting it out on the dark web. I don't know. All I know is that this information, this text message right here, to me, shows that he's not in a good place in his mind. Like he's about to do something very reckless. He even said, the second to last sentence, the text that he sent said, I told you I wouldn't go back. Pretty crazy stuff. And he's saying, oh, I made a good life for myself. I got a marketing job. I've been there for 2 years. I made a good life now. Like I told you I would do with you if we stayed together, if we were together. Now you destroyed it. Now it's all gone. I told you I wouldn't go back. This is all on you for continuing this because of the charges that are being pressed on him, because he got caught red-handed doing God knows what, having kind of content that no person on this planet should ever have. But first he sends a photo of himself, like a selfie, with a sad face. Like he's that shook. Also trying to manipulate the situation. Speculation station, exactly. This was sent to his victim. This was actually sent to the person that I'm sure was about to testify on his against him. Okay, the victim in which he had content of that he was sharing around here. He was also trying to solicit more things from this woman as well, or from this person as well. And again, this was in 2017, okay, 6 years ago. So she could be, a young woman now, but still, what he did at that time, absolutely disgusting and wrong. And still, I'm telling you right now, you can see it. He is about to do something bad. If you say, I told you I wouldn't go back, and then on top of that, he says, this is all on you for continuing this. This is all on you, what? The unaliving of 6 people, including himself? Putting the blame on her like that? I'm saying this is a full-on manipulative piece of trash. Let's continue.
You see, he sends a selfie, then a message saying, quote, I did exactly what I promised to do. He goes on to talk about the job that he got and says, quote, made a great life like I promised I would do with you. Now it's all gone. He then says, quote, I told you I wouldn't go back. And his last message reads, quote, this is all on you for continuing this. It is truly chilling.
It's very chilling. I couldn't agree more. This is the most disturbing ish I've seen in a very, very long while. Like we've talked about mass tragedies, all those things. And there's been a slew of very disturbing things, but never have we ever really seen this kind of thing unfold. Maybe it's happened in other stories. Maybe it has happened in the past, but I have never seen anything like this in my life. Okay. This is a new thing for me. And this is crazy. But there is more stuff, which we are going to be looking at here too, because the other thing is you got to remember, he was locked up for 16 plus years for R. Well, the actual victim, the survivor of that actual incident, did speak out on Banfield. Actually, Banfield has 2 interviews, one from Brittany's mother and another one from the actual victim, the actual our survivor from in the early 2000s. And so we're going to look at the interview with the survivor. And of course, she speaks a little bit on the victim of the photos and the soliciting stuff that got him caught up, and why he was going to be showing up in court on Monday, or why he was supposed to show up in court on Monday. So let's take a look at this. These were very interesting conversations. So heart-wrenching and heartbreaking information here as well. But let's take a look at this.
In this horrendous crime is a 39-year-old registered sex offender. I mentioned his name before. It is Jesse McFadden. He had a long criminal history. And in fact, he was due in court just today on child porn charges and soliciting a minor. That he was doing while he was incarcerated. Joining me now is Crystal Strong. Crystal was a child rape victim of McFadden's in 2003, and she helped to put him in jail for 20 years. Crystal, I can't imagine what you're thinking at this time, given what you've been through, and then just hearing from Milena about what she's coping with.
I mean, I'm okay. My trauma's been dealt with. My heart goes out for the families. I begged the DA a long time ago not to ever let him out of prison, because I knew that he would do this to someone else. I've never been contacted about when he was getting out. The last time I heard from anybody was when I was 17, and the DA or whoever it was told me that Jesse was really high on meth, that he's sorry, things happen and I need to learn how to forgive. And I hung up on her, and I tried to suppress the memories and move on with my life.
Hold on. Let me roll that back just a second, just a few seconds. That I need to understand who called who?
Because I knew that he would do this to someone else. I've never been contacted about when he was getting out. The last time I heard from anybody was when I was 17, and the DA or whoever it was told me that Jesse was really high on meth, that he's sorry, things happen and I need to learn how to forgive. And I hung up on her, and I tried to suppress the memories and move on with my life.
Okay. That's really messed up. Okay. Let me just say this really quick. Okay. I commend this woman for having the guts to get out and talk about this and get in front of this, and speak on her behalf. Cause I feel like more and more survivors, even the ones that are going through it today, you guys are still survivors as well. I feel like these stories do not come out very often, or we don't hear these stories like this very often. And I do think that it's really messed up when you have the DA calling you to say, hey, oh, I'm sorry, he was high on stuff. And that's the reason why he did this thing. So, let it be what it is. Just you need to find some place of healing and forgive him. First off, there is no place for a DA to say anything like that to any person. Okay. Second, why are you making excuses for a monster when the monster did what he did? He was convicted. He served time. But I also think that if it was a violent crime, which it obviously, in my personal opinion, is, I think that there should be harsher crimes or harsher penalties, right? Harsher punishment for those kinds of crimes. If he was in there longer, maybe this situation may never have happened. Why the light touch, in my personal opinion? I get 16 years is a long time, but at the same time, you did this to a minor. You did this to a child. lock that person up and throw away the doggone key, in my personal opinion. But no DA, no person should be calling the survivor and say, oh yeah, here are the excuses of the reasons why this person decided to be a monster on that day and terrorize this young, at that time, this young child's life, traumatizing this person for the rest of their life. That is beyond me. That's beyond me. Okay, guys, but let's continue.
I don't have any contact with Canadian Shores or any of that area. And the minute I heard about this morning, I had a gut-wrenching feeling that those babies weren't going to come out of there.
Crystal, this happened to you at the same age. I mean, Brittany's mom just told us she had only just turned 15. You were 16 when he attacked you. What was the circumstance?
He was actually, so I grew up, my dad lived around there, around Canadian Shores, and I grew up with his girlfriend and her sister. And he had showed up. I had been at a party that night in McAllister, and I had left my truck in McAllister and got drove home by someone else, some friends. And 3 friends actually, and my stepmom had drove by that night in the middle of my rape, but they kept going because my truck wasn't there. But Jesse had showed up and kept telling me that Holly kicked him out. He needed somewhere to go, things like that. And I was like, look, you really just need to call Holly. Like, you don't need to be here. And then I remember just being shoved through my door, a sock in my mouth, and being tied up to my own bed, and just horrible things happening. I remember the DA telling me that I would never have children.
Okay. Okay. So you're hearing all these graphic details here, guys. You're telling me that this person, this individual right here that we're looking at right now, should have been out here kicking rocks, breathing in this freedom air after 16 years, after what she's telling us, what she endured, the torture, the torment, the trauma. And I know I'm speaking to the converted, for crying out loud. I think we all agree. A piece of trash like this shouldn't even see daylight, to be honest. But this person got out and then went on to do something even more unthinkable. To even his allegedly, until they're absolutely identified, allegedly his wife and her 3 children as well. I'm gonna roll that back just a little bit.
Being shoved through my door, a sock in my mouth, and being tied up to my own bed.
Tied up.
And just horrible things happening. I remember the DA telling me that I would never have children.
Do you hear that? She was held against her own will, sock in the mouth, tied up to her own bed. The doctors later on tell her that she won't be able to have a child. This is how vicious this piece of work was. And they let this mother lover out. Can you believe that, Ish? I'm being real. Can you believe that, Ish? Just those little details right there. Come on, y'all. This is insane. Okay?
I just suppressed a lot of those memories, and then today brought it all back. And I just, all I wanted was those babies to be brought home.
And that's what we were all hoping for when that alert went out, that they would find those girls.
I've been talking to Caitlin Babb. They've been putting her case on the back burner for a lot of years. The girl with the pornography, with the charges that he was supposed to go to court for, he basically told her this morning, and I have screenshots of him telling her that when this all goes down, this is going to be your fault. And supposedly she gave that to the cops, I guess, and nothing was done.
And I want to be really clear, Crystal, you're talking about Caitlin. She was the subject of those lewd photographs that Jesse McFadden had in prison on a contraband phone.
A burner.
And she has spoken with you and given permission for you to tell her story.
Yes. She said that everybody could
Yeah, let her speak.
Sorry, repeat that.
She said everyone keeps blowing her off and not doing anything. She's been just shoved off to the back burner. And then last night, Jesse had messaged her, I guess from a fake account called Holidays. I have that screenshotted too, telling her, I've done everything I was supposed to do, and you just won't let well enough alone, basically. And now this is going to be on you. Basically, I felt like he was telling her he was going to do something, and she took it to the, I said, you need to take that to the cops. And she said, I did, and nothing's being done.
And she was prepared to go through with this court hearing today, because this court hearing today for him was about that.
She's been trying to do this. This all happened, I guess, when she was 15 years old. He even told her about me back when all this happened, tried telling her that it all started like I was trying to do it with him, and then all of a sudden I didn't want it anymore. He had that girl so brainwashed.
Thank you for watching.
That's so messed up. But as you can see, this was a manipulative person. This piece of work was out here. Just trying to find a still of this guy. He was out here manipulating, trying to take advantage of the situation, of the naivete, okay, of a young kid, taking advantage of that and playing with their head. It's very messed up, guys. Kelly Hansen, thank you so much for the 10. Thanks for the update on this. So sad. He should have never been let out. I agree. This type of monster should not have been out. Period, point blank. That he should never have been put out or let out. I'm sorry. Never. Okay? Never, never, never. All right? And I'm sorry for going through these pretty quickly, but I wanted to give you guys these videos. We have an interview from the mother as well, the mother of Brittany, if I'm correct, the mother of Brittany. We heard from Ivy's parents in that group, in that duo interview, where they both were basically saying, like, you know, this man never should have been left out or let out. There should be harsher charges or harsher punishment for these type of charges. This is somebody who was going to come back out and do this again. Clearly, he was going to. Clearly, he did. And God knows what he did to those other 4 bodies as well. And of course, we don't know, we don't know what happened with the 2 teens, Ivy and Brittany as well. We don't know what happened to them before they passed. God only knows. With the autopsy, we'll find out more information. But I'm sure a lot of us are leaning on the side of something unthinkable, even worse than them losing their lives. I'm sure that there was a traumatic journey to their demise. So I want to take a look at this as well. It's an interview from the mother of Brittany. She corrects a few things like Brittany's age and all that. This one's a tough one too, guys. I'm going to be honest. It's a tough one, but I do want to share with you guys. Let's take a look.
Now confirm for you, because of what the parents have told us, that 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer, who up until this moment, there had been an all points bulletin search for these 2 girls. We were hoping that we would find them. The problem is we have found them, and they have been confirmed as dead. I want to get you now to Caitlin Becker. She's joining us right now. She's a senior reporter at thedailymail.com. Caitlin, what else do we know?
Well, Ashley, we know that of those 7 people, we believe it was also McFadden's wife and her 3 children. One of those was the girl that the other 2 teenagers were having the sleepover with. And those 2, the parents of those 2 girls, which I think 14 and 16, grew very concerned when they didn't hear from their children after about 1 a.m. on Sunday morning. There was one text sent to one of the parents, but at this point, that parent potentially believes that it was not sent from their child. And once that happened, they contacted the authorities. And as you said, the APB went out this all points bulletin looking for these girls. Now, today, this day, McFadden was supposed to be in court for a hearing on child pornography charges and solicitation of a minor. And apparently the lawyers were at the court in the chambers. He didn't show up when they learned that the police had executed a search warrant on the house and found 7 bodies.
Caitlin Becker, I'm going to ask you to stand by, if you will, because
Absolutely.
joining me right now live is the mother of one of those teenage girls lost in this tragedy. Milena Chabelle is the mom of 16-year-old Brittany Brewer. I am catching you at your absolute most difficult time, Milena, and I am so sorry to be joining you. And I'm so sorry for what you're going through right now. What else have the police told you?
They haven't told me anything. I live here in Texas, and I've just been hearing whatever my ex-husband's been saying. All I know is that she left on Saturday to go stay the night with her friend, her and the Ivy girl. And her brother, the last known contact with her, they were at the lake swimming yesterday before coming home. And after they got done swimming, Tiffany, the girl they went to see, her stepdad said, "What up? Well, I'll take you home." And he never took him home, and I haven't heard from her since.
Milena, had Brittany been to Tiffany's house before with this Jesse McFadden, her stepfather?
She's been there several times, multiple times. I spent the weekend with her. She actually went and spent almost a week, like 4 or 5 days with her during Christmas break. It was almost once a month or twice, at least either once or twice a month. She went and spent the weekend with her.
And there was no suspicion at all of what Jesse McFadden's background was. No one had ever informed you. Holly,
terrible.
the mother of Tiffany, had never informed you about Jesse's background as a sex offender.
No, I mean, no. When she would go over there, she would video call me, and I would talk to her, and everything seemed perfect. I mean, everything seemed great. Her mom, I met her mom once over the phone. And I mean, she never said anything. My ex-husband, Brittany's dad, didn't know either. He told me today, he said if I'd have known, Brittany was gone. And the news, I don't know if y'all got it correct. She's not 16. She just turned 15 last Saturday on the 22nd of April.
I'm so sorry, Milena.
She just turned 15, guys. And what's wild about this part here is that no one knew. No one knew. Okay, all of this. They did not know that this person, that this monster was even a monster. They didn't know. No one knew. Okay, even Ivy's parents spoke out and said, we didn't even know. We didn't know at all. It's scary. Nicole B just said, man, sad. This is a lesson for parents to simply Google who their kids are with. There's a whole offender, registry. Dag nabbit, absolutely 110% right. Okay, absolutely. Okay. Nikisha, thank you so much for the 5. She said the DA told her, no, it wasn't the DA. The doctor told her she wouldn't have kids. Okay. How did they know that? It was the doctor. It was the medical. It was a medical professional. Okay. Debbie, thank you so much for the 10. Yes, we'll put together an Amazon list for sure. Okay. But back to the story here. All right. Pretty crazy stuff, guys. All right. Pretty crazy stuff.
What happened this weekend? When was the last time you were able to talk with Brittany?
I didn't. The last time I saw her was last Sunday when I went to Oklahoma for her and her brother's birthday party. And I got to spend several hours with her. And then I talked to her that day, and then I want to say it was Tuesday she called me, and we were just talking like our normal talk, just playing around. And she told me she'd call me later, and I never heard anything from her, which was unnormal. Which I mean, it's usual. You know, sometimes she called me every day, sometimes she didn't. Um, but I thought it was really odd because she always would call me after school, or especially on Saturdays. She'd always call me on Saturdays, and she didn't call me at all that Saturday, and she didn't call me at all today. I knew something was wrong because she wasn't answering my. I mean, I tried to call her. I got online on her Facebook, and I tried calling her, video calling her, and I messaged her, and she wouldn't respond. And it showed she was online, but she wouldn't respond. So I knew something was wrong.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com.
So yeah, that's this some crazy heartbreaking stuff. Honey Badger said DA. Oh, okay. Maybe I misheard. But why would the DA say something like that? That doesn't make any sense. If that is what it is, maybe she misspoke too. Doesn't make any sense for the DA to say that. It doesn't. But outside of that, regardless, it shows proof positive that that young woman, when she was a child, was viciously attacked. Okay, viciously attacked by this monster. Okay, this piece of work here. Long story short, this man should not have been out. Okay, should not have been out. Okay, all right. Nikisha, respectfully, okay, I'll go back. I'm here already. I will go back. Not a problem. Let's play it.
When he was getting out, the last time I heard from anybody was when I had to forgive, and I hung up on her and I tried to suppress the memories and move on with my life. I don't have any contact with Canadian Shores or any of that area. And the minute I heard about this morning, I had a gut-wrenching feeling that those babies weren't going to come out of there.
Crystal, this only just turned.
Actually, so I grew up, my dad lived around there, around Canadian Shores, and I grew up with his girlfriend and her sister. And he had showed up. I had been at a party that night in McAllister, and I had left my truck in McAllister and got drove home by someone else, some friends. And 3 friends actually, and my stepmom had drove by that night in the middle of my rape, but they kept going because my truck wasn't there. But Jesse had showed up and kept telling me that Holly kicked him out. He needed somewhere to go, things like that. And I was like, look, you really just need to call Holly. Like, you don't need to be here. And then I remember just being shoved through my door, a sock in my mouth, and being tied up to my own bed, and just horrible things happening. I remember the DA telling me that I would never have children.
Okay, you got a point. I hear it now too. She may have misspoke. She may not have meant DA. She may have meant the doctors, whatever. Because why would the DA say that, of all things? That doesn't make any sense. But interesting information. Now, I think she may have misspoke. I understand emotions, nervousness, etc. coursing through your veins. You could be saying one thing but really mean something else. And I don't think she would put that information out there if it wasn't true, or at least the doctors or whoever saying, okay. But it does make you wonder who actually said it. It does make you wonder who actually said it. But I think she meant the doctors. But no matter what, outside of all of that, all semantics aside, whether it was DA or doctor, doesn't matter. What happened to this young woman, or what happened to this woman when she was younger, is still absolutely messed up. Absolutely. And still makes more of a reason to have this person be locked up for as long as he lives, in my personal opinion. Because if he wasn't released, then he would not have been out here doing this. Let's be real. If there were harsher, I don't know what the laws are, what the laws are in Oklahoma, but, or how harsh they are when it comes to SV of this type of, or R, or anything of that sort, any type of SV. I don't know how they are. I don't know if they're, light with these situations or not, But given the fact that this person was an absolute monster to a young girl at the time, she was only 15 at that time, terrorized her, tormented her, did all those things to her. He only got 16 years. Then he got out and he did this. He should have been there longer, period. Should have been there for his whole life. If you're going to do something that horrendous to a young girl 16 years ago, who's to say you're not going to go back out and do even more damage when you get out? And he was already doing damage to a girl, another victim, via burner phone while he was locked up too. And if he was caught, I don't know if he was caught while he was there or not, but if he had been caught whilst still being locked up, they should have extended his sentence even more for violating and breaking the law even more. But we don't know. We don't. That's the information I do not know. If it was happening while he was locked up, or like he got caught while he was locked up, or if this was information that came out after. To me, it sounds like it came out after he got released from prison. But this is absolutely insane. Okay? Those crimes that were done against this woman when she was 15 years old, he should have gotten it all. Again, he should have been thrown under the doggone prison, in my personal opinion. Okay, so whether it was the doctor or the DA, it doesn't matter. What this man did to this girl at that time in the early 2000s, unthinkable. And he did not get the full extent of his punishment. Not at all. So the information that we have right now, this is the information that we got so far. They have not identified the 4 other bodies so far. From what they are saying right now, the family, okay, the mother, the daughter, and the 2 sons they're still saying that they are missing right now. I feel like we can lay on the side of, or we can err on the side of thinking that they are the 4 bodies that were found in the backyard or in the fields behind the house. But they have not, like a medical examiner, et cetera, has not identified them yet as the family. But there are articles out here that are saying, oh, yeah, no, this is what happened and they are identified. They aren't. Okay. They are not. And the original Alexa, yes. There are 7 that were found. 7. So 3 of them were, and I'll show you the photo again. 3 of them were the 2 missing girls, okay, which is Brittany Brewer, Ivy Webster, 14 and 15 years old, okay? And then the other person that was identified is that of registered offender Jesse McFadden. Now, the rest of his family is considered, well, they have not been found yet. Let's just say that. But there are 4 members in that family, 3 kids and a wife that are not accounted for right now. So a lot of people, even myself, are thinking that the 4 other bodies that were found along with the other 3 are that of the rest of the McFadden family, which is absolutely disturbing, y'all. But of course, when more information does come out, we will be talking about it. We will have a conversation about it. I will give you guys updates as soon as I get the information and all that. But still, this is a terrible, mind-blowing situation. And again, if those charges were harsher, if the punishment was harsher, maybe this situation would not have happened. But I don't know. You know, I don't have the answer to everything, but I know that we have 7 people no longer on this planet, all gone right now. For what reason, I don't know. What, you know, and it obviously, I'm sorry, I take that back. We do know the reason. He was triggered. He was triggered on the thought of going back into prison. Okay? He was triggered in thinking that he was going back to prison. And that's why he said, I ain't going back. Ain't no way I'm going back. I'm just checking here. I want to see if there's any new updates at all. And so far, I don't see any other updates right now. I mean, I'm, of course, checking to make sure if there's, no more information, but we don't know anything yet, except that is the information that we have so far is what we have. This man went out of his way to text a victim that's involved in this trial that he was supposed to show up on Monday, the night before, and clearly you could tell in the text messages he is not in the right mindset. He is literally, it seems like he was thinking of doing something unthinkable, in which it looks like obviously he did. But of course, when there's more information that comes out, we will talk about it. Okay? We just don't have everything as of yet. Again, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Okay, that's the show. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's hard to say enjoyed, but I hope you guys appreciated this live. Okay. And of course, if there's more information here, we'll talk about it. I'll give you guys the information as it goes on. Okay. I'm keeping my eye on this case. There's plenty of other cases as well. There's another mass tragedy that happened this weekend as well. That's now starting to get some story. Now the story is starting to leak out now as well. It's crazy. We still have Francisco Oropesa still on the loose. No one knows where that monster is. And actually, by the way, the other story of 4 people in the Mojave Desert were found unalived as well. That monster allegedly is on the run as well. It's insane. I'm going to try to do that, cover that story in a little bit. But if you appreciated this live, please do me a favor. Okay. Hit that like button down below. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay. Be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Set it to all to make sure you know whenever I upload or whenever I go live, because it is random nowadays. Okay. Your boy's a busy man. Okay. So please hit that subscribe button. And of course, consider hitting that join button down below. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Okay. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Have a good rest of your day. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.